evening or wherever you may be joining me from wherever in the world you are. Um, I love this this vehicle that lets me uh, talk to you and hear from you. And it's always a pleasure to have these opportunities. And I can find the one thing is I always love, I'm curious and I love learning. And when you come on, um, or when I have a guest, um, I love the uh, um, the diversity they or you bring to my show. So it's wonderful um, to do this. So um, and um, and it looks like we're going to have a special guest in just a moment. Um, so, Terrence, how are you doing? You can't hear. It says that you could. Huh. I also don't. I, I your background backlit, and so this is a fun thing with doing things live, as we get all uh, uh, things that we have to deal with them, and um, I'm um, looking. Um, I'm anyways. While Terrence is attempting to um, get everything right, and um, so well, what we're doing is this um, this show is designed to um, give a vehicle every week so we can come together and we can celebrate stroke survivors and stroke thrivers and other people. Maybe they have something that they're disabled from, or maybe they're just someone that makes a difference in the stroke community. And for example, um, one of the reasons I love this is I can always find somebody who benefited from the stroke community, or they themselves benefited the stroke community. And I think we're trying to uh, get Terrence right here. Terrence, can you hear me? All right. Huh. I'm trying to look and see if there's anything I can do to help you, Terrence, and help Terrence come into our show. Um, it says that um, uh, he's on the program, but he's backlit, so we don't really see his details of his face. And he says he can't hear. Um, hear so much, or we can't hear him. Um, I don't know. It says he's got a good network connection. He says we can. Well, guess what, Terrence? Why don't we do this? And he'll answer my questions that I often ask my guest, and he will type in his response, and I'll read your the response, and then we'll try that, and we'll try another show, to get him back on. All right, Terrence, are you willing to do that? Are you willing to type the responses to their question? I'm waiting to see if he types. Isn't this exciting? Oh, yes. All right. And so the first question, can you tell the audience about a story, or about the story really, about the stroke? This is fun. I had one other um, show, and we had a problems, and the guest typed his responses, and it was interesting. So I'm and this platform, I'm using it like only about less than 3 months, and I'm still learning about some things it can do and some things I don't think it does. But we'll find out. So, Terrence, I guess Terrence, it may help to take short snips of your answer and hit the return, and and then and then we can see what you're typing. And also, we're testing Terrence's ability to type, and that because I'm not very good typist, and you can find that when we do something like this. And we sometimes find out maybe if we have maybe we recorded um, our responses. That wouldn't help, because until the internet and uh, the various Facebook, etc., uh, transcribes instantly, that would be a problem. So on August 12th, 2010, he woke up with a terrible headache. And I know how that goes. Um, I used to have migraine headaches. They would last about 3 to 5 days. Usually I'd get it 3 to 5 times a year. And I'd had them since I was in high school. So when I was 50, and I was amidst one of those headaches, and I didn't really think about them. Um, but many people, like Terrence, has a terrible headache, which he didn't have before. And then I also, as a veterinarian, I downplay illness, especially with mine or my family, and that's it's not so good to when you're having a stroke. In fact, the morning after I had the first stroke, I had it while I slept. Um, I fell really. That was really unusual, and I did. I thought, that's strange. Um, but popped up and went on my way. He said, Terrence, it was from the blood bleed that he had. So his blood vessel had burst. Um, um, so how long did that last, Terrence, before you went into the hospital? Oh, it all happened at the ER. Okay. Um, um, Thankfully, for ours and his sake, um, he dealt with it fairly quickly. Versus me, I dragged my feet. So um, then when you so what was one of the biggest challenges that you faced since your stroke recovery became over 13 years ago? I'm I'm these questions are um, are fashioned when the person or when we have the ability to talk. So it will be interesting to have this um, um, have this conveyed to us by typing. So and the restream, the one thing that was a selling point, so to speak, was simultaneously when I could do my restream live, it would also replicate simultaneously. It would go to Facebook Live and go to my YouTube channel, go to my LinkedIn account, and and also would go to my Facebook page. So that was great. Versus Zoom just lets me do one channel, which is the Facebook Live. So Terrence said he dealt with not being able to do what he was able to do before. That's so important we understand. He he dealt with not being able to do what he was able to do before. We all have, many of us has, that are stroke survivors. Um, um, because, for example, I say I have an accent because with the aphasia, I have a expressive aphasia, which means I have difficulty saying things. And so that's why I will say I have an accent rather than deal with all the uh, issues. And the other thing is, I still have um, uh, right sided weakness, especially in my upper body. And so I just deal with it. And um, and Terrence, what would you think that is the one or two um, difficulties that you still have to deal with due to the stroke? I'm going to challenge again. The I'm going to find the edges of the um, manner in which we're communicating. Um, I have to think about what the person, in this case Terrence, has to type, and I don't think about that very good. So, but why that is important is I also had my strokes, the strokes in 2010, and something Terrence told me earlier when we talked about this. He doesn't refer to his stroke; he refers to the stroke, and I attempt to refer to my strokes as the strokes because they were an event that happened in the past. And I don't want to, and either does Terrence, doesn't want to it make it personal. Um, by making it in the past, we don't give it the importance, so to speak, uh, of it. It just we go forward. So this came up in my memory today. One of my quotes: "No matter how many mistakes you make, or how slow your process, you're still ahead of someone who's not trying. That's excellent. Can I steal that, Terrence? Um, that's a beautiful, and it's so true. Um, um, and because he said, the stroke, because it doesn't belong to me. Very good. Some people, or often people, will personalize. They will make it their stroke. They will say my stroke, and they almost becomes personal, and they get up close with them. But I think Terrence thought um, uh, we need to get beyond that and move on. It happens, but we have to move forward. And I love what he says. No matter how many mistakes you make, it's important. We're all going to make mistakes, but it can it can be an issue. Hey, Brenda, how are you? So, all right, and the last question is, what have you found one of your successes that you have had since the stroke happened, or in your stroke journey? And this is really good that he says this this quote. And I had Brenda, she was a guest on my before the stroke, before the Stroke Folk show became in its current version. But it was very interesting, and I'm glad that she stopped by. And oh boy, I'm sorry that we have to deal with this, but I learned um, God does things because uh, we want to learn something. And so we're learning something. This is Terrence. He says, one of his successes is the ability to tell people about it and his willingness to shout it a billion times. Well, that's great. Um, and that's true. Over the last 13 years, I am very much, uh, I will say, about the strokes and about my recovery and um, and other thing. And I don't know if you find this, Terrence, but when when your people sense that you are open to talking about it, your recovery or the stroke, um, then they um, open up. Then if you or I don't want to really talk about it, so it says it's a little, it's like a roadblock between communication which we have with other people. I know, and well, have you come back, Terrence, when we can get this working out? Oh man, I'm sorry. Um, but he wishes he could elaborate on his stuff. And Brenda is very open to speaking the truth about the stroke and her milestones. That's excellent, Brenda. Um, Brenda, can you not talk also? Because I can suspect um, it says they can. The volume uh, is fine, but oh well. All right. Well, um, I like I said, God wants us to do this and learn from it. So I hope that you got a little nugget of wisdom from Terrence and a little bit from Brenda. And next week we'll be at it again, the same at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And Brenda, I'm sorry, we'll get it, work on it, and we'll hopefully have it by next week. Thank you to your success.